There are 4 types of teams at the bocce venue. Traditional doubles consists of 2 Special Olympic athletes. Traditional team consists of 4 Special Olympic athletes. Unified doubles includes 1 Special Olympic athlete and 1 unified partner. Unified team includes 2 Special Olympic athletes and 2 unified partners. Unified partners are individuals without an intellectual disability.
All right, first we'll introduce you to the equipment used during a bocce game. The first thing you need to know is this small white ball, which is called the polina. And then these are the bocce balls. One team will have yellow, the other team will have blue. You will also be utilizing paddles to indicate to the players whose turn it is. One of the paddles will also have a heads and a tails side so that you can flip to see which team will go first at the beginning of each game. This is a schematic of what a bocce court looks like. All players will throw their balls from one end of the court. They have to stand behind the foul line, and the polina has to land between the half-court line and the foul line at the other end of the court. You can see in this court here, this is the end of the court. The first foul line is 10 feet away, and the half-court line is 20 feet from that. So when a player throws the polina for the first time, it must land between the half-court line and the next foul line. It can land anywhere within that space, including up against the edge of the court.
Here's what the score sheet looks like. You will get a new score sheet at the management team tent for each new game. Games will run to 12 points for 30 minutes, whichever comes first. Once athletes and unified partners arrive, there will be several items you will want to verify before starting competition. Starting at the top of the sheet, verify that it is the correct date, court, game number, and division. These can be verified by looking at your court schedule located on the clipboard. Everyone in the competition area should have a credential. Using those credentials, verify that the athletes or unified partners on your court match the names on your score sheet. Here and here. If you note a discrepancy, please notify a member of the management team. Start times of games may vary slightly. If teams are all present, they may begin early. If a team is a few minutes late, they might start late. Court attendants should indicate the actual start time on the score sheet. They should also use their phones or watch to keep track of game time. Games end at 12 points or 30 minutes, whichever happens first. There will be multiple frames in each bocce game. In each frame, only one team can score points. The maximum is 4 points and the minimum is 1 point. Keep a running total of the score to keep track here. So if this yellow team scores 3 points in the first frame, you'll color in 1, 2, and 3. And then if the blue team scores 2 in the next frame, you'll color in 1 and 2, and so forth. Once you are finished, circle the winner and return the score sheet to the management team. They will give you the score sheet for your next game.
Teams have a 5-minute grace period. Any teams entering the competition area more than 5 minutes after their scheduled game time automatically forfeits the game. You will indicate this on the score sheet and turn it in at the management tent. Any team who shows up without all their players will scratch. We will know about some scratches in advance and will indicate so on the score sheets. When a registered athlete is unable to compete, the team may use a registered alternate in order to continue with their competition. There is an official list of registered alternates. If an alternate presents for a game, please verify with the management team that they are registered. If a registered alternate is not present, the game is officially a scratch. You will need to indicate that on the score sheet and let the management team know. However, you can still allow another athlete, family member, or volunteer to step in and play for the missing athlete to ensure everyone gets all the bocce time they want. This game will not be counted in bracketing.
At the beginning of the game, you will ask the teams to call heads or tails to determine who goes first.
Blue team heads,
Yellow team tails.
And then you'll flip the paddle.
Tails. Yellow team goes first.
Since the yellow team won the flip, they get to throw the Polina in the first frame of this game. The player who decides to throw the Polina can step up to the foul line but cannot cross it. That would be a foul. As court attendants, we hope that you will be paying attention to prevent fouls. Now, underhand throw is the only type of throw permitted for releasing balls. So as you can see here, she will throw the Polina, and it is intended to land between the half-court line and the furthest foul line. In the event that a Polina does not land in the intended area, the athlete gets a chance to do that throw again. So the ball will be retrieved, and that same player will throw again. The player gets 3 chances to land the Polina in the legal area. If they cannot land the Polina there by the 3rd time, the other team gets 1 turn to try and throw the Polina. If they also do not land the Polina in the legal area, a court attendant will take the Polina and place it directly in the middle of the legal area. Regardless of who finally throws the Polina into the legal area, the athlete who threw the Polina first still must release the first bocce ball. Again, they can step up to the foul line but cannot go over. There is no illegal area for the bocce balls to land, as long as they land within the court.
Please pay attention to foul line, sequence of play, and rotation of players. This will help prevent errors that could create conflict or filing of protest forms. Use the colored paddles to indicate to the teams and volunteers at the end of the court whose turn it is. If the grass is long, it may be difficult for athletes to see the Polina or white ball. There will be an orange flag at each court that a court attendant should hold over the Polina for easier visibility. Do not stick the flag in the ground and leave it, because that can create a pinball effect during game play and affect the outcome of the game. Mark the scores on the scoreboards in addition to the score sheets so spectators know what is going on.
Once the first bocce ball is thrown, the point is established and the ball is declared in. The team whose bocce ball rests closest to the Polina is the in team. In and out determine the play rotation. When a team is declared in, they step aside and let the out team throw their bocce balls. The out team will throw all of their bocce balls until they are declared in. This rotation continues until both teams have exhausted all of their bocce balls in a frame. Since yellow is now the in team, it is the blue team's turn to throw. Wow, nice shot. If there's ever a case where it is unclear which ball is closer, you will use a tape measure to determine. Always place the tape measure inside the balls, as such. You can then lock the tape measure into place and rotate it around. In this way, we can clearly see the blue ball is closer, meaning the blue team is in. It is important to remember that perspective plays a part in deciding what it looks like. So please remember that spectators from the side may not have the same perspective as you. If anyone asks you to measure, just go ahead and measure. It only takes a few seconds and provides spectators and loved ones with peace of mind. So now blue is the in team, which means it's yellow's turn to throw. We do want to remind you that there is no set sequence for athletes or their unified partners to throw the ball, as long as each person throws the same amount of balls. In a doubles team, each athlete will throw 2 balls. In a 4-person team, each athlete will throw 1. Clearly, the blue ball is closest, which means the blue team is still in, and it is yellow's turn again. Blue is still in, and it is yellow's turn again. Yellow has thrown all of their balls, so now blue will throw the rest of their balls. And now it's time to determine overall how many points will be scored in this frame. Yellow ball to the Polina is what we're going to measure first. Remember, we're not measuring from the middle of the ball to a middle of the ball, but from the inside edges of the balls. Savannah will lock the tape measure into place, and then she can move it around to see that that yellow ball is closer than the other blue balls. This blue ball is the closest, which means the blue team gets 1 point for this frame. The most points any team can score in a frame is 4, and whoever scores points during that frame gets to throw the Polina in the next frame. In the event that 2 opposing balls are the same distance from the Polina, the team that rolled last will continue to roll until the tie is broken. If there is a tie at the end of a frame, neither team scores points for that frame.
If neither team has made it to 12 points at the end of 30 minutes and the resulting score is a tie, you will play an additional frame to determine the winner of that game. Please do your best to minimize disruptions to the game. Athletes should only be allowed to leave the court to go to the bathroom in case of an emergency, and they should have a 5-minute limit. Contact the management team if you have any issues. If you suspect any athletes on your court are experiencing a medical emergency, please alert the management tent and they will radio for the medical team. Only athletes, unified partners, and official volunteers are permitted to be in the competition area. If you are aware of someone unauthorized, please ask them nicely to move to a spectator area. There are exceptions for physical assistants who are pre-registered and have appropriate credentials. They may be assisting athletes with visual impairments or those who present as a high fall risk. No coaching is allowed during competition. This includes volunteers, family members, coaches, and spectators. Kindly remind anyone not following this guideline. If you have difficulty or are not comfortable enforcing any of these rules, please alert a member of the management team. We are here to support you. In addition to knowing the rules of the game and keeping score, court attendants have some other important responsibilities. Imagine if you showed up to compete in a championship competition and the officials weren't taking it seriously. You would likely feel disappointed and frustrated. Please remember, this event is that important to our athletes and unified partners. They have spent countless hours practicing to qualify. They and their loved ones traveled from all over the state to be here, hoping to take home a gold medal. Please take this seriously. Please remember to refrain from using your cell phones and socializing with friends during the games. We want you to have fun, but remember, you're here to focus on the athletes. While you are not allowed to coach or provide any tips on technique or strategy, you can definitely provide encouragement through high fives and cheering. Athletes love it when you create an environment of excitement during the game. And finally, we just want to say we really appreciate you being here. The athletes, their family members and loved ones, the coaches, and all of us, we really couldn't do this without your support. If you need help, reach out to a management team member. I'm Rachel, and I am the venue manager. I'll be wearing a purple shirt. Other members of the management team are in red shirts. Medical personnel are in orange shirts. Now we just want you to head out to a court, get yourself together with a team of 4 to 8 people, and practice playing bocce ball. That's truly the best way to learn.